Good morning, my esteemed followers. We shall be digressing this morning to look at the deployment of ASPNetcore applications to private servers or VMs using Azure DevOps CI/CD and GitHub Repo. So as seen on the screen, this is where we stopped the last time. We were able to register users, get those users if need be, like you can see on the screen. Okay, so this solution, we'll be looking at deploying it to a private server or VM. Following these activities as we can see on the screen, we run the existing solution as seen. We'll add the existing project or solution to a repo, a GitHub repo, create a project in Azure to link that GitHub repo. Then we can now create a build pipeline using Yaml file, create a deployment group, an access token for us to run that the file that will be generated or the script, then create release pipeline too, and all of them will be configured so that a trigger can happen once a developer makes an update from the code. That update is committed and pushed, that a deployment is made to the private server. So that is the beauty of DevOps. That is exactly what we want to see today. Then we run the deployment, run the application, then see the destination server, what we actually have as a content. Then we can now run it. Along the line, we quickly make some adjustment in the code and commit to see how it will reflect. So sit back as we go through this gradually. So let me go straight to the application. Let me start this. Let me go straight to the application so that we can add it to the repo straight. So I have an existing repo. This is my repo where I push all my files to, my codes. So I equally have a existing DevOps environment. So this DevOps Microsoft environment, while this is a GitHub environment for me. So we shall be pushing the solution to this place. So let's go by quickly doing this. We can go through the solution, create a Git repo. All right. Like I said, I already have an account. If you don't have an existing account, you can create, and from here come and link them. Once this GitHub, this Azure DevOps, anyone that you pick here, you provide the credentials, you should be able to connect. So let's call this one employee registration CI/CD. Let's put it this way, and let's make it public so that we can see it from outside. So I will try to push, and we will see it from the other side. You can see the link here, the path. So let's watch and see how we see it from the repo. So as we can see, it's already in the repo, but there is no content in there yet. So what we need to do, let's quickly try to push. Okay, when we push, the content would have gone there. So the push is successful, as we can see here. Let's go to repo, refresh. Okay. All right, you can see this is the structure of our solution. It's already here. So what we now need to do is to go to the DevOps environment and try to create a project. As you can see here, let's create a new project. Let me get the name from this solution. Let me get a name. Okay. Let me get a name, Control C. Okay. All right. I try to create a project, Control V, CICD. Let me put it this way. CD. This is just a test deployment. Okay. I make it private because there's not the interesting point of it. So let's create it and move on. All right, it's created. So what can we do? If you look at the repo, there's no code there because the code is in the GitHub, like we said before. But what we need to do is to create a pipeline where we can try to pull the code from where it is currently. So let's go by doing this, create pipeline. You can see the various options. This is based on where your codes are. If it's in a Azure DevOps environment, which is environment where we are, I just pick this. Otherwise, I'm picking this GitHub, and it will definitely ask for authentication, which I will provide to link my GitHub account to this place. Okay, as you can see, it's displaying all my public repo details. These are my projects. Okay, this is the new project the new source code we pushed just now. So as you can see, so let me pick that. It's probably going to ask for connection if it's not seeing it. All right, it's asking for my GitHub account details. Let me quickly provide that. So let me quickly provide it and see how it goes. Get the right credential here. Okay, all right, we are there. So let's quickly see this part of the connection. Permission. Okay, all right. This is our point of interest. We have to suggest. You can see here the repository we are interested in. Let's only that one be here, which is what we are having there. So we approve and install so that the proper reference can be made. So it has taken me back to Azure environment, and we are now to configure the pipeline based on the framework we are targeting. And our solution is .NET Core. So we pick this. Let's see. All right. So this is the Yaml file that is being generated. It's using the Windows latest app pool. All this Yaml file is by default. So I will quickly add one or two settings so that we can have the artifact name, so that whatever that is produced here will have a reference to it. Let's quickly do that. So I'm updating this artifact name so that I can I'm adding this line to it so that I can make reference to whatever that is being produced by this YAML file. So in summary, you can see that we are dealing with master directly. If we were dealing with other branches, we would have equally reflected it here. So let's save. Let's save. We will not. Okay, we can save and run. Then when we come back, we'll come and add trigger to it. CI/CD pipeline. Let's just run and see. Commit there. Just run and see. So as you can see here, it's already queued, which means any moment from now, it will start running. You can see it's counting. You can see the duration is counting. It has started, which means it's now going to build artifacts. Once it runs, it builds artifacts. But let's just give it a little moment to run. Then we'll come and set the automatic trigger so that each time a developer builds from a code, you commit. Once you commit any changes from the code, this will automatically build, and the output of this pipeline build will be the input to the release pipeline as well. So it's a chain reaction. Let's see quickly. So as seen on the screen, the pipeline has run. You can see these errors. These are warnings that is telling you first name must contain, which means your feeds from your objects supposed to have no labels in case. But these are warning, they don't have any effect. There's no error. If there's error, you will actually see it here. You can see the status is successful. So what we need to do, let's try to trigger this pipeline so that anytime changes are made by a developer and you commit to push, you'll be able to see exactly what we are looking at. You can reflect in this environment straight. A build will be triggered. You don't need to come here to manually do it. What we did just now is a manual one. It's a manual approach. So let's try to see how we can add a trigger to this. So you can see this one, I can say override Yaml continuous integration trigger from here. This is what we are meant to do. And it's the master. Like I said, if it's another branch, we would have called it done in there. So we have to save. And okay, you can save. That you save and queue. Or if you save and queue, it will run. But if you save, it will not run till an activity happens. So let's say save and queue. The reason why this save and queue, let's say we might not even queue. The reason for running this is the artifacts that will be built by this pipeline will be used in release environment. So we have done this carefully. The pipeline has been set up. The next thing is for us to create a deployment group, because this will be required when you are setting up a release pipeline and at the same time when you want to deploy to the release server. So let's add a deployment group. Call this one, let me see, what did I copy before? Reg. Let's say this. Sorry for taking us back here. Control C. Let me quickly go there. Deployment group. Let's call it will be new deployment group. So let's call this. We can leave the description. So you can see a script is being generated. So we are going to pick use personal access. Let's copy this and keep somewhere. So I can equally quickly say let's deploy a deployment token. Haven't seen this is what we just the script we ran just now we got from here. Okay. So for us to create an access token, we can come here, come to personal access token. Okay. All right. We have a existing one here. Otherwise, you can pick this. So okay, name. Let me say control. Let me say new deployment. New deployment group token. So it's going to last for the next 30 days. Let's give it full access so that once you are running the script, we won't have any issue. So I create. This is I copy this. This is what I need for that token. This is what I need in case it asks when we are deploying it. Otherwise, it will automatically pick it. Okay, so this is it. We have done that. The next thing now is let's move to where we can create the release directly. So we are here. I came back to the project to pick it. So let's pipeline. So we're in the release mode now. Let's go to release. Release, we'll be able to see new pipeline. So we're going to create release pipeline. And let's see how it goes. Okay. This it will ask you first for the target. We are looking at IIS. I'm trying to deploy it to IIS environment, Microsoft IIS, okay, for Windows. This is exactly what I'm looking at. I can call this one, the first stage, I can call it production. I can call it production. If otherwise staging, depends. So if we want to add, if you have any reason to add to it, assuming we want to add another one to it, we can go ahead. You see the, okay, let's click outside. You see, this is the production we gave just now. If you can click here, you will add another. So this could be a staging. For instance, once it is successful staging, it flows to production. This is where you can put approval. You can set approval here. Do anything you want to do. We add to it. So it depends on the length. That is how, but here we just need only two. And here, let's first of all start by adding the artifacts that was produced from the pipeline we built before. This is the name of the project. As you can see, there's an artifact that is already being built by courtesy of what we ran before. I add it. So which means when the build is successful, the end of it, the binaries that will be generated will come here. So now let's configure this. This is where we have work to do briefly. So to configure, what will happen is this is a task. We go to task. So you see this task. We are seeing the stage name production is going to a website. When you create or you update, this service will run. So for the website, we can have website name. Let's call it student rec. Okay, let's say EMP registration. EMP registration. Okay. So because we don't want it to go to port 80, because if you have existing solution in that environment, this can wipe it off. So it's good you define exactly what you need for it, the location where you need to go. So you click this point, as you can see, so that we can add port to it. Let it come up. So as you can see, we are going to add binding. We'll delete this one. I don't want it to use that. So if it's HTTPS, anything you need, you can do it from here. See the drop down HTTPS. This. So let me use port. Let me say 40. Let's use something like this. So if you have a host name, I mean the website name, you can equally put it here. These are the beauty of working here. So we quickly do this. You can see the port is here. So let's move ahead. This IIS, like I said, these are the few things you just need to do here. All right. Pay attention to where I clicked to set that up. Let's go to the reconfiguration. So you can see the deployment group. When you click on IIS deployment, you have the deployment group, which we created before. You have to pick it here. But like I said, this will let it know wherever you used it, it will come and reflect. It will map this, whatever you have in this environment, to the production server. So you can allow multiple. Okay, timeout. This is the artifact. Allow script. We don't have much here. At previous, we don't have much here. Okay. We have already done the names and the rest from the above. Okay. All right. Here, let's come to the second one. Okay. We come here. As you can see, every other thing is here. So what we are interested in here, I don't want it to go to this place. So that I can go and overwrite what is there. I can have my EMP reg F as a folder that I want it to go to in that environment. So create, if you want to create a app pool, just during deployment, what do you call the app pool? EMP rec pool. This is required for it to run. What version are we looking at? This is let's use no manage code. Then okay, integrated, no classic. All right, additional. There's no other thing here. So these are basically what we would have done in IIS environment if we were configuring manually. So this place is telling you that once you build, the end of whatever you are getting here will be zipped. And you know, once you zip a file, you will not be able to run that zip file in IIS, except you go there manually to go and zip it. And we do not need that. So let's quickly tell it the type we are required, where it's going to pick the end of the activity that is going to pick and push to that location we specified just now. So if you look at here, this is exactly the structure we are having for our solution. So let's pick the last on the hierarchy. This way we want it to go. Okay, I think I clicked it more than once. So if you look at it, it's here. So this is exactly what we need. There's no additional thing. The next thing, let's say save. Let's save. Okay. We have saved this. If we want to create release now, we should be able to create this. But I don't want us to create it because we have not set up the environment. Let's log on to the server where we will run this script in a window share and then move on from there. So let's go to window PowerShell. Try to run as an administrator. Okay, before then, I need to copy what I need to run to this place. So I brought the file that I copied before to this place. Let's see, let's copy the content, Control C. So let's launch the window PowerShell. Right, let's try to paste. See it's here. And you enter, press enter for it to come up. Let's wait, we'll see the end of it. You can see it's trying to connect to server. This is an agent. This agent is what will establish a connection to that deployment group, to that very activity we've done in a DevOps environment. So you can see, if you look at this place, it brought the token. You can look at this token. This is the token we defined that time. It brought it here. That is the meaning of this. Was able to bring it. Otherwise, we would have manually put it. So now he said enter, enable this. Okay. If a enable service SID type on restraint agent is no. User account to be used for this. Just enter. If you just press enter. If you press enter, it goes, which means it will use the NT authority for it. So there's no much that is expected from us here. It's just to run the agent so that the service will be running whenever, as a background, whenever we deploy, that handshake between this server and what we are doing will come here. So for the NT, what you are seeing here, I just type enter because I wanted to use this account. Here now the next question is press enter for no. Prevent service starting immediately after configuration. We are going to put no because we want it to start immediately. The service will start from background. So it started successfully. This is the end of agent installation. So later I will show us where we can see this in the background as it is running based on the name given. So having successfully run the agent or install the agent, what we now need to do is to say let's build. Let's go back to our environment. Let's build a pipeline which automatically will trigger this. Then from there, we can now see how it will, now everything will move to the server for us to review. So that's the next thing. Let's go to pipeline again. Let's say, okay, I can run this. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Let's go to pipeline. Let me run this pipeline again. Okay. Let me run it. So once it is done running, you will see that the release that doesn't have anything on it again for now will be triggered. We will now see a new release. And this release, unfortunately, we could not. We can equally change the name. Can change the name here. Release. Let me call it. We can just call it release 1. Release 1. You can call it any name. So we save. So once the CI/CD, the pipeline, as you can see, it has started. Once it is done, it will automatically flow to this place. So we'll monitor it. After this one is equally run successfully, we cannot go to the server to see the end product. At this stage now, if you look at the IIS, you won't see much. It's only a few things you are going to see here. You are not seeing the actual, you are not seeing anything regarding the name we set up. So, but with time, we will see it. If you equally come to the drive C, where we are expecting it to go to, you won't see any file like that on EMP reg as we stated. So all these things will automatically be created by the agent once the release flows to this place. So let's watch. Let's go back. It has not come here. The pipeline is still running. Oh, it has, as you can see, it has finished, but it did not trigger. It did not trigger this release. The simple reason is because we have not enabled the trigger. So that was a mistake on our part. To enable the trigger, you click here. See the edge, you can say trigger was disabled. You have to enable it so that once it ends from the pipeline building, it will automatically trigger this. So that is how it's been done. Come here to trigger it. So if we run it again, it will trigger it by default. So I don't want us to create it. Here now, on that pipeline, release pipeline, we are not seeing anything. We are supposed to see something. So let's rerun the pipeline for it to trigger automatically. Okay, to start now. So it has immediately come. I see this one itself. I think this one will start just now where you are seeing production stage now. Accepting is very fast. Otherwise, we should see it equally trying to run. Okay, you can see it's running. It has been triggered and it's running now. Once it is done, we will now go to the server to go and see what has been pushed there. So stay tuned. Okay, luckily it has run successfully. But let me tell you at this point that any of these stages could fail if things are not right. So, and I will equally inform you that the Yaml file used will be automatically saved to the repo in GitHub. So if you need help, you can go there, download the application and use it for yourself. So let's migrate to the environment where we're expected to see all these things. Okay, we're back to the server environment. Let's look at the drive to see whether the folder has been created. As you can see, this EMP reg, the folder where we want it to be, is here. So we can do something, give it a permission or anyhow. But let's see the IIS as well. The IIS, let's refresh and see. Okay, you can see the registration is here. So let's try to run it to see if we will get exactly what we are expecting. I'm going to use Swagger. All right, let's see. Sorry, let's see. Where is the browser? The browser not coming up. Manage. Which browser is he using? Okay, this is it. Let's slash swagger slash index des.h. Okay, this is the root or the route to our solution. So you can see it is happening here. So if I take this IP and equally say, let me access this application from outside, this is exactly what I will see. So this is the way it goes. This is the way how we automate deployment so that developers can have peace. This is the essence of DevOps in any environment. So let's quickly look at this from outside to see if we can equally see the same thing. Okay, so as you can see here, I try to access it from outside. I'm not able to access it outside the server. This is because the network team need to come and make a configuration for this to be publicly seen. So even the ports, they need to enable firewalls for it, and that is why we cannot see it here. But in reality, whatever you are seeing here in the production environment, that is what you will see elsewhere. And when changes are made from your source code and is pushed, automatically reflects here. We can equally look at that briefly. Let's see a little change. So let me quickly update this authentication controller. Let me get user. I'm interested in a specific user. Let's do this. Get user. Let me say string ID. String ID. Okay. Just return OK. Let me not code it. We just want this to show outside. Let's edit. Okay. If I save this, okay, I should be able to. Let me try. Okay. Commit user search. For instance, is it? Let me commit. If it's done successfully, I can it's try to commit. It's running, as you can see from this ready status. Once it's done, I will push. Then we'll see how it plays out. So it's done. It's automatically asking me to pull and push. Otherwise, I would have come here to just push. So let me do this. So it's done. That's why you are seeing 0 or 0 here. So let's see if the application will automatically picks itself up as the deployment, the pipeline deployment. Okay, you can see it has picked up. So it has picked up this CI/CD for you. Once this is done now, it will trigger the release. And once release is done, we can now view the solution as well. Just stay tuned. So as you can see, it is done and it has automatically moved to the release. So it's building another release, which is now release 2. So anytime, any day, if assume you have issues with release 2 and you want your customers to still start using the application based on new update done, you can quickly revert to release 1. You push this again, it goes. So that is the beauty of it. The past version can always still be recalled. Okay, so let's wait for this to finish and we'll quickly move to see the end of it in the server. Okay, that is done. Let's check the server. Here we are in the server. You can see the new endpoint added just now. Get user is here, whether it wasn't here before. So this is how a developer will make a commitment from the development environment and automatically comes to production once it is approved. You can add approvers and the rest to it. So those that are not into coding will not understand what we have done here. It is a real business for you to be looking for who will do deployment for you anytime you build a solution or you do updates. So thank you for your time. Like I have always been saying, I need your encouragement. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, like my post, and make a positive comment. This will encourage me to do more. Thank you very much for your time. God bless.